On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Crazy times, crazy world. A lot of things are happening, and it's time that we start, well, being a part of this transition. The wave is cresting, and it is forming, and for us people out here on the West Coast, at least maybe other places too, that like to surf, man, when the waves are good, grab your board. Let's get out there. And that's exactly kind of what's going on. Got a lot of cool stuff to share. Got a lot of things happening. And I don't know. I kind of had a wild hair at my ass earlier. We're not going to get into all this stuff. Sometimes I find when I go off in the wrong directions, I have problems with the computer rebooting in the middle of the recording, which causes issues. Needless to say, this is supposedly Hegseth screwing this in. I don't think he's actually screwing it in because it doesn't look like there's any places to screw on the corners. I feel like he's just doing a thing, but needless to say.
There we go.
I mean, it seems legit. Doesn't look like AI, but it looks like even kind of got his tattoos right, probably. Whatever. Judge rejects Paramount Skydance request to speed up the lawsuit against this Warner Brothers Discovery Netflix thing. Netflix, definitely deep state company. Warner Brothers, I think, wants to give that to Netflix. Deep state wants to hold on to that so they can continue to make their crap films rather than give it to Paramount, who's likely going to make it a better world. Skydance, Paramount, just the names themselves sound better. So, yeah, Delaware judge, it's like rejected Paramount's bid to speed up this lawsuit, but it is funny. Netflix proposed $72 billion takeover was somehow better than Paramount's $78 billion hostile bid. So it was $6 billion higher, this hostile bid. Why is that not better? Now, the Discovery, I'm going to guess that the board was going to get $6 billion worth of money or the equivalent, or more even. Who knows? But I have a feeling the board's going to get a big old chunk of money from this deep state deal. But that's not as good for the shareholder. This is, I think, going to be a funny little piece of ugliness that's going to come to the surface. I don't know if they can settle. And deep state can't afford to lose this deal. We might actually see this one go to fruition. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I can't wait. I love it. Loving this stuff. The Senate defeats bill to block military action in Venezuela after 2 Republicans flip to put it back at a 50-50 tie. There's still 3 Republicans that continued to vote no. Of course, Rand Paul. Of course, Lisa Murkowski. And, of course, Susan Collins. Now, the 2 that switched their votes, Senator Josh Hawley and Todd Young, both of them realized they got a lashing for changing their votes and being on the wrong side of this. And Josh Hawley and Todd Young, you guys made your choice. You made your bed. I don't know if you're going to make it through this. Certainly lose my faith completely. You guys are tied into the deep state. You guys are getting money or something. I don't know. I'm glad you changed your mind. Awesome. Maybe you can get back on the right train. We'll see. But I've personally, in my opinion, one more thing wrong, you guys are gone. You're not going to ever get into another election. J.D. Vance was the one that broke the vote, the tie. Obviously, it went in MAGA's favor, not the deep state. Senate passes a bill allowing victims to sue over deep fake porn videos. This is one I went on a tirade on my last recording. I'm not sure which thing broke the rules, but I still trip on this. I don't know. I think it's weird. Like, if someone made a fake porn of me, I just can't imagine getting that pissed off about it. Like, I just don't know. Would I be happy about it? No. Would I be, like, I can't stop it. Someone draws a fucked up picture of me. Someone made a doll of me, which, by the way, is just an adorable doll. But she literally has made a figurine of me, which is kind of cool, kind of weird, kind of all sorts of things, right? How do I feel about that? Like, there's a lot of fakeries in the world. I don't know, it just trips me out. But the Senate's unanimously passing a bill. Now, again, if someone makes fake stuff, like Melania Trump's got, a thing that she's pushing where the people make fake porn of her, essentially, then she can ask to have it taken down. And again, if someone puts it out and it's of you, or at least it seems to be, and you don't like it, then yeah, ask them to take it down. They should take it down. But it's not real, right? Like, you guys, you get that, right? Like, it's not real. Something that's not real, How can that It's not real. I don't understand it. I guess, sorry, trips me out every time. Yeah, every time. All right, CCP, everybody thinks they're the best in the world. They're not. They suck balls. CCP knows how to steal. CCP knows how to re-engineer what people have already figured out. They seem to have lost the ability. Now, again, I love the Chinese people, but they seem to have lost the ability to figure shit out on their own. So, anyway, they steal stuff. U.S. Navy sailor was sentenced to nearly 17 years. He gave up some pretty solid information about our amphibious fleet. Put a lot of people at risk, needless to say. And he gave up the info. So, he's going to jail for a long time. He is a person that became a citizen from China. So, even those individuals. Now, unfortunately, China's kind of got a policy where anybody that's former Chinese is bound to report anything they can learn. And they probably get rewarded for it. Senators want to ban Chinese students from government labs. Interesting kind of move in that same direction, right? Like, nope, you guys can't work in labs anymore. Right now, we're going to ban your students from doing that. Or we'll control which labs they can go into. But certainly nothing that's doing anything of significance. And they're gonna throw pouty little party, this little sad. Oh, poor China. How are we going to steal things anymore? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe start figuring some shit out on your own, right? You guys talk a mean game, but lately you haven't been too impressive. I believe there's a song that don't impress me much. Seems fitting here. China orders domestic firms to stop using U.S. Israeli cybersecurity software on national security grounds. China? Again, I'm sure they've figured this out hopefully a while ago. Problem is replacing it. Not easy, especially replacing it with anything that's actually good, especially when you know your enemy's constantly trying to poke and prod it. Everybody talks about, China's hacking everything. They're the hackers, the hacker attackers. They're hacking everybody. But the reality is, folks, we hack the shit out of people too. We're not talking about it though, are we? It's weird. That's the thing. I think a lot of people, and it's been played up in the news, especially Zero Hedge, it just tripped me out how pro-China they are. It was really weird when it finally hit me, and I was just like, damn it. And then I started seeing it just everywhere in all their articles. So very, very, very heavily paid for by China, Zero Hedge. But again, still do pretty good work. Breitbart's got some weird shit too. New York Times got some weird shit too. But yeah, we take it. We take what we get, right? These guys are basically pulling stories down. That's what's helpful. So yeah, don't use that stuff is what China's coming to the conclusion of. We know the Canadian Prime Minister, Carney, he's out there holding official meetings with people in Beijing, which capital out there. So we're watching China and Canada probably trying to make some sort of deal. Now, if they do anything weird that's bad for the security of the United States, this is when Trump will be like, and so we're taking over Canada, except Quebec. We're going to let France have Quebec. For anybody that lives in Canada, you probably chuckled, unless you live in Quebec, and in which case, why are you watching me? You know I dislike French people. China blames Trump for its staggering $1.2 trillion trade surplus amid Europeans' howls of outrage. This, again, is it's a good and a bad, I guess. So, one, our trade deficit's the lowest it's ever been, bar none, since 2009. Since 2009, our trade deficit is tiny. So, it's shrunk significantly. On top of that, China's got a whole entire economy baked on or requiring exports to go up. They literally, as a country, manufacture stuff. And if people stop buying their shit or start making their shit locally to avoid a lot of the problems that we have, well, they have no other recourse. Nobody. Nothing. Because their own internal economy, the people of their country, don't buy this shit. It's not offered to them. And they probably couldn't afford it anyway. So they don't even want it. It's a bunch of stupid shit. China's in a tough place. CCP is. And again, I think they're coming down. I believe the CCP is coming down. The big picture, that's really what that story was all about. The CCP is coming down. Deportations making affordability a winning issue for the GOP. What we're seeing is in blue states, or the bluer the state essentially, the better the situation. Oddly, Austin, but they've been getting a lot of people out of Texas in general. But Austin's a very progressive place. But again, get rid of a lot of the illegals, a lot of the crime, and now all of a sudden housing prices are down 7.3%. San Diego down a lot. San Jose, Washington, D.C., some of the places where major sanctuary cities. Oh, these are, the prices of homes are going down. Wait, huh? My home list prices declined. Well, yeah, some of these are sanctuary cities, I think. I feel like this is a bad graph. They're not really making their point well, or it doesn't spell out the numbers very well. They're saying it's a good thing. It doesn't seem to be the case, though. Change in median list price year over year. So the list price has gone down, which would say affordability is technically becoming higher. Now, it sucks if you own a home. So what I'm noticing is the places where they've got sanctuary cities, the values of homes are going down. And I guess in Seattle's work, I don't know. This is not a very good graph. Hindsight, probably shouldn't have shared this. But, yeah, whatever. I think affordability is going to be a thing. Trump's going to demonstrate it. I think the states that are doing it properly are going to see results that, will impress people. So I think it's going to show. Republicans vow to block Trump from seizing Greenland by force. Again, crazy. Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski, two people that will never see office again once they finally go up for election. So it's cool, whatever. They're going to keep doing stupid shit. They've defected publicly, so they're stuck in it now. I'm waiting for them to change to Democrats. Seriously, I feel like that's the next thing that's going to happen. They might get lambasted in their own states, so maybe that's why they haven't yet. But this is nuts. Donald Trump, I'm going to play this at 1.2 speed, but he's talking about the new health care plan that he's got. And again, Congress not doing shit, right? Nothing. Congress has done nothing. Trump has, pretty much done it all. Fighting tooth and nail. Can't even get people in because of blue slips. Can't get them through the Senate. And still, Trump's making America great again. You gotta love the dude.
Today, I'm thrilled to announce my plan to lower healthcare prices for all Americans and truly make healthcare affordable again. We're doing things that nobody's ever been able to do. We're calling it the Great Healthcare Plan. Instead of putting the needs of big corporations and special interests first, our plan finally puts you first and puts more money in your pocket. The government is going to pay the money directly to you. It goes to you, and then you take the money and buy your own health care. Nobody's ever heard of that before, and that's the way it is. The big insurance companies lose, and the people of our country win. This proposal locks in the massive discounts on prescription drugs that my administration is achieving through our most favored nation drug pricing agreement. Now, when you hear about that, for 40 years they've been trying to do it, but they never were able to do it. No other president was able to do it. I got every other country to approve it. By the use of tariffs and other things, they all approved it. Nobody else got it. No other president got it. And for the most part, they didn't even try because they felt it was impossible. It'll bring down drug prices 80, 90%. In some cases, just numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. Your prescription drugs will come way, way down. And under this policy, the prices of many drugs will be slashed by 300, 400, and even 500% starting this month at the TrumpRx.gov. So instead of Americans paying the highest drug prices in the world, which we have for decades, we will now be paying the lowest cost paid by any other nation. So any other nation that's paying the lowest cost, that's what we're going to pay. And the American people will get the savings. So I have to reiterate, the lowest price in the world is what you're going to pay. Before, you were paying the highest price in the world by far, and the politicians did nothing about it. So I'm asking Congress to complete the work that we've started. Next, my plan would reduce your insurance premiums by stopping government payoffs to big insurance companies and sending that money directly to the people. Obamacare was designed to make insurance companies rich. I call it the Unaffordable Care Act, with billions of dollars in taxpayer subsidies that helped their stock prices skyrocket over 1,700%. as you paid more money for healthcare every single year, more and more. The premiums went higher and higher. I want to end this flagrant scam and put extra money straight into the healthcare savings account in your name, and you go out and buy your own healthcare, and you'll make a great deal. You get better healthcare for less money. That way you can choose the care that is right for your family. To further reduce insurance premiums, my plan ends the giant kickbacks to insurance brokers and corporate middlemen that only drive up the costs, and that's what they're intended to do, drive up the costs. But we're driving down the costs. And it fully funds a long neglected part of the law known as the Cost Sharing Reduction Program. This measure alone should cut premiums on the most popular Obamacare plans. It's hard to believe there are any because it's a hated program. It's unaffordable, but it's going to cut them by an average of 10 to 15%. Next, the Great Healthcare Plan. That's the name. It's called the Great Healthcare because it's great healthcare at a lower price. Mandates unprecedented accountability and transparency from insurance companies and all healthcare providers so that special interests can no longer profiteer at your expense. As the saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. That is why my plan orders all insurance companies to publish rate and coverage comparisons in very plain English. It requires insurers to publish detailed information about how much of your money they're going to be paying out in claims versus how much they're taking in profits. In other words, you will be able to watch the scam. It forces them to release detailed data on how many claims are being denied and whether those denials are eventually overturned on appeal. And most importantly, it will require any hospital or insurer who accepts Medicare or Medicaid to prominently post all prices at their place of business so that you are never surprised and you can easily shop for a better deal or better care. And you're going to end up doing both. You're going to get a better deal and better care. We will have maximum price transparency and costs will come down incredibly. I'm calling on Congress to pass this framework into law without delay. Have to do it right now so that we can get immediate relief to the American people, the people I love. Thank you very much.
Can you imagine transparency when you go to the doctor? Now, a lot of people that pay, it's just funny. Like being a person that had benefits, I had a W-2 job for a long time, my whole entire life, just like a year now. I was just celebrating my anniversary recently. And having to pay your own benefits. They're extraordinarily expensive. And it's funny. When you go into a place and they're like, what's your insurance? And then you give them the insurance and it costs more. If you say I'm paying cash, they charge you less. Why? Because there's all this bullshit in there. Some of it's so doctors can make the money because insurance companies clamping down. Again, I don't know who I want to cry for. I feel like it's crocodile tears for everybody, frankly. So Trump's killing all that bullshit in the middle. And if it's important enough to be there, if it needs to be some sort of processing fee or some bullshit they do, well, now it's plainly there on the window. Weird, odd size processing fee. Why is your processing fee $100? Most people are $25. Well, I don't know. We pay our people better. This is going to be bad for the deep state. We have a huge change. When we transition and change fully, it's going to be glorious times. U.S. completes its first $500 million Venezuelan oil sale, sold it to the market, $500 million. I mean, it's $500 million, right? Like in government money, that's like barely keeps the lights on for, I don't know what, a few hours? Whatever, though. It's $500 million. Certainly probably help pay for a lot of the oil stuff that they're doing in Venezuela, and even some of that money will obviously go back to the Venezuelans themselves if they actually sold it. So the Venezuelans are going to get a big old chunk of that, and that can help them, and the United States is going to control where that money goes. And we'll see how this part of the process goes. This is usually where we've failed, but I think what's different now, again, a lot of people are like, this is what they always do. It's like, well, you still got to give money to people. It's just making sure it gets to the right people. You don't give it to like criminals. You give it to the actual right people, and you make sure of it. You get validation. So we'll see if we've learned before people immediately attack. Donald Trump says he's been told that killing in Iran has stopped. Lindsey Graham doesn't agree, but we'll get to that in a segundo.
We have been notified and pretty strongly, but we'll find out what that all means. But we've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset, but that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution, which a lot of people were talking about for the last couple of days. Today was going to be the day of execution. We have...
So that was one of the big things, one of the big stories is that there was going to be an execution today that did not happen, supposedly. So, again, a lot of people they're going to come at this story all over the place. Iran and Israel are two contentious topics that people want the Gog-Magog war. There's people that want it to not happen. There's people that want it to happen, but there's a huge amount of focus on it. So this is, again, I don't think we're going to go to war. I think we're going to bum out the deep state and not do it exactly the way they wanted us to. Graham contradicts Trump on Iran executions stopping. So Graham's like, no, they're still killing people. Lindsey Graham, somehow you got better intelligence, Lindsey? Which, by the way, is an extraordinarily gay name for a dude, Lindsey. I think you're the only dude. Maybe there's another Lindsey Buckingham. Again, tap dancing on gay, but an amazing musician. Lindsey, who else? What do we got? Still, bumps me out. Guy, he's a war hawk. He's one of the ones, guys. You know me. I've been talking about this guy for a while. I want him to stay I want him to stay on the simmer. I want us to keep tabs on him. He was with McCain in Ukraine. And I patched McCain, too. He's been hanging out with that guy. Lindsey Graham's dirty. He's a dirty douche. He's a dirty, dirty douche. Nozzle, at least. I mean, if it should be more specific. I'm sure many people were like, well, that was not necessary, Dan. Maybe. I'm going to be talking to Mike Lindell tomorrow, so very much looking forward to that. I wanted to get a head start. Why is it group? What are you doing that for? Why are you grouping this? This is very new. This is a weird new thing. I don't like this at all. I even got rid of it. Damn. All right, whatever the case is. It'll work for the moment. MyPillow.com/OTF. MyPillow.com/OTF. They've got a sweet-ass deal going on right now. Very sweet deal. Now, I'm going to talk about it. I don't normally talk about this particular thing. I do a little. But it's, one, free shipping on your entire order. This is huge. It doesn't have any disclaimers on it that I can see. Here's the thing, guys. They literally can ship you. Well, the topper's the one I was going to go for. If you got a mattress that's like more than 5 years old, more than 10 years old, especially if you're someone that's not actually flipping your mattress like you're supposed to, maybe rotating it too, depending, right? So you can wear out the other side also. There's a few ways you can flip it. It's like rotating tires. People that don't do that jack up their mattresses quicker than they should. You might need a new mattress. They've got a sweet deal, $599.99, as low as they start. Check it out. Free shipping probably applies in some weird way. Check it out, mypillow.com/OTF. But the toppers are magic. Now, if you're already using MyPillow sheets, you've got the deep pocket sheets already, you got room for these things. It's just an extra, 3 inches, 2 inches. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's magic. It's actually some warmth, too, I would say. For some of you guys that maybe live in cooler places, it is definitely another layer of insulation. I would say warmer places, you probably should get a new mattress. But places that get a little cooler, you're going to love it, what it does and how it works. It's fantastic. And, again, the deep pocket sheets are incredible. Free shipping. Free shipping. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about, a few things. One, his Minnesota governor stuff. Okay, so he's probably going to ask for donations. Just going to say in advance, he's probably going to ask. You don't have to, but if you want to, especially if you live in Minnesota, he's one of the ones that might actually try to make a difference in that state, I think. So, cool. He's also coming out with these Rev 7 shots. Again, I love the Rev 7. It's good energy, but this is actually a phenomenal idea. This is almost too much liquid. It's weird. So they figured out a way to condense the magic into a smaller little, and you're roll and go. You know what I'm saying? That's tight. Now, I don't know if it's just the one flavor so far, but the lemonade flavor is freaking awesome. It's probably their most popular. I think the blueberry citrus is dynamite as well, personally. Again, apple was my least favorite Jolly Rancher. Just me. There's slippers right here. Boom. The thickness, I'm not joking. These are, look at that. Look at the, I'm not like, and they're stitched on the side. It's like 7 layers, some crazy thing. There's some magic that's in this. These are, like, you literally can wear these outside if you're so inclined. I find that to be strange, but people do it. It's got like a rubber sole. It's probably got all sorts of other sole in it too, you know? You can suddenly dance and find out. Their towels are the best ever too. If you've ever tried their towels, you should definitely try them. They've got a very bitchin' deal going on. Save 50%. The 6-piece is kind of the way to try them out. They've got a big bath towel. It's not in that 6-piece by any stretch, but it's huge. It's freaking awesome. Oh my God. If you're a big person in any way, shape, or form, you definitely want to figure out how to find one of those. Yeah, click into the towel sets and try to find one of those. But that bath towel, that big ass mofo towel, it's like magic. And these towels are the best towels you'll ever use. Ever. I've never used the towels anywhere near. They feel weird sometimes. I've touched towel and then it's like, I feel like there's something slimy on my fingers sometimes after touching other towels. They're like that old terry cloth robe. These just got that soft, like feeling of home. I don't know. They absorb. I wipe by the shower door where the handle is. Just one wipe, it's gone. I love these guys. MyPillow.com/OTF. MyPillow.com/OTF. Slightly longer today. Again, talking to Mike Lindell tomorrow. We'll probably have 10, 15 minutes or more of him. We'll pre-record. But, that new Rev stuff's coming out. The shots. We'll find out if there's other flavors. Got the cross and everything. MyPillow.com/OTF. Free shipping. Did I mention it? That's right. It's all happening, guys. Take advantage of it while you can. Where are we at? There we are. All right. So, Civil War II, which kind of sort of is. This was supposed to be way worse. Way worse. The Civil War. Right now, so far, we'll see this stretch. I'm not trying to jinx in any way, right? But right now, so far, it's been more or less contained to Minnesota, Minneapolis, even mostly specifically. There's been a little bit of bullshit here and there, but it's not the numbers. 100, 200 people. That's probably where they live. You know, Seattle was one I'm thinking of in my mind right now. So ICE agents suffered internal bleeding after being struck by the SUV during the Minnesota shooting. Everyone's like, well, let's get an unbiased opinion about what happened. Supposedly this dude was hit hard enough with the car that he had internal bleeding in his chest area. He was examined and released the same day. Now, I'm going to say internal bleeding is another way of saying bruising. So I'm not trying to take away from it. The dude got dragged, got 33 stitches 6 months ago, 7 probably now. So, he's all within his right, don't get me wrong. But bruising, that's a bruise. That's internal bleeding. That's what bruising is, If he wasn't kept in the hospital, this internal bleeding was not anything more than bruising. Maybe some nasty, you get those crazy colors when you really get a nasty bruise. They suck too, man. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. This is Tim Walz's speech. I think it's worth hearing it. Again, I'm going to play it at 1.2 speed. It's just one because it'll make him sound slightly less retarded. It can be done. Barely. But you need to hear his words because when people are going to say, he didn't say that. No, he did. Yeah, he did. Tim Walz. Not trying to bring the temperature down yet, but he'll have a post here in a second that comes after. Check it out.
ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family. Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors, including the longtime career prosecutor leading the charge to investigate and eliminate fraud in our state's programs, quit their jobs rather than go along with this assault on the United States Constitution. But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state, who dared to vote against him 3 times and who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace. All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted. They're distributing care packages and walking kids to school and raising their voices in peaceful protest, even though doing so has made many of our fellow Minnesotans targets for violent retribution. Folks, I know it's scary, and I know it's absurd that we all have to be defending law and order, justice, and humanity while also caring for our families and trying to do our jobs. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough. Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota. 4 things I want you to hear as you watch the news and look out for your neighbors. First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry? I'm angry. Angry is not a strong enough word, but we must remain peaceful. Second, you are not powerless. You are not helpless, and you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger. Thousands upon thousands of our fellow Minnesotans are going to be relying on mutual aid in the days and weeks to come, and they need our support. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is we will not have to live like this forever. Accountability is coming at the voting booth and in court. We will reclaim our communities from Donald Trump. We will reestablish a sense of safety for our neighbors, and we will bring an end to this moment of chaos, confusion, and trauma. We will find a way to move forward, and we'll do it together, and we'll not be alone. Every day, we are working with business leaders, faith leaders, legal experts, and elected officials from across this country. They've all seen what Donald Trump is trying to do to our state, and they know their states could be next. And that brings me to the fourth thing I want to say tonight, Minnesota, how incredibly proud I am of the way that you've risen to meet this unbearable moment. But I'm not at all surprised, because this is who we are. Minnesotans believe in the rule of law, and Minnesotans believe in the dignity of all people. We're a place where there's room for everybody, no matter who you are or who you love or where you came from. A place where we feed our kids, we take care of our neighbors, and we look out for those in the shadows of life. We're an island of decency in a country being driven towards cruelty. We will remain an island of decency, of justice, of community, of peace. And tonight I come before you simply to ask, don't let anyone take that away from us. Thank you, protect each other, and may God bless the people of Minnesota.
Lieutenant Dan, that's my boat. That sounds like a call to arms to me. Oh, really? That was literally still going. Wow. Dude, that ending was awesome. That was awesome. Yes.
And may God bless the people of Minnesota.
15 seconds. God bless the people of Minnesota. Wow, what the fuzzle. Okay, well. Hey, he put this out the following day, the same night. Governor Tim Walz. I am making a direct appeal to the president. Let's turn the temperature down. Let's stop this campaign of retribution. This is not who we are. And an appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. We cannot fan the flames of chaos. That's what he wants. Yeah, you guys are so easy to goad into crazy. Oh my God, it's fantastic. Here's an example. Migrant shot after attacking ICE officer with a shovel. It's actually a long story. Went running off. He went off into the house and came out with a snow shovel. And anyways, got shot in the leg. It's hard to, start a campaign with the dude shot in the leg. It's like, oh, bastard, he's still alive? You sure? Fudge. All right, well, let's try again. Rioters, they smashed into ICE vehicles in Minneapolis. The police backed down. And what's funny is they broke into this ICE vehicle, literally broke into the gun locker within the ICE vehicle, stole it from the vehicle, and many are saying actually were able to open it using brute force. Maybe not worth 2 minutes to watch. But yeah, they ripped it out of the truck. That's a problem. Like literally, these were just ICE vehicles that were out in front, probably the hotels. This is what's happening in Minnesota. This is absolutely illegal. The police department, they're not doing anything about it. This is absolutely illegal. It's a federal forces. You get federal money for all this stuff, and there's a lawsuit that says you can't stop paying SNAP benefits, even though it's going to fraud. Now they won't protect the vehicles, and judges are still saying what they're saying. Trump's playing this is awesome. This is playing great to the crowd. And again, we've talked about it before. Some of us live near a city that's maybe on the list. I don't know if the numbers are going to be where they say. There's a lot of people that have said 14 cities, 17 cities. I don't know if it's going to be that many. Like 5 seems high to me at this point. Like I feel like we'll see. I don't think they've got the power. Minneapolis is definitely one of them, period. Portland, 2. We'll see what the others are. Chicago, New York, LA, maybe. San Francisco more likely than LA, frankly, to be honest. Southern California is a little less tolerant of that kind of nonsense. Even in the domestic or the Democratic parts of us. Trump considers invoking Insurrection Act amid Minnesota unrest. He's like, I might do this. I might do the Insurrection Act. I don't know if I have it. I don't have him saying it. If he does, he can bring in the military. Someone was kind enough to respond on my X platform, which was cool. They talked about how my Twitter is at OTF with DRS. Sounds stupid, but whatever. At OTF with DRS. And actually try to look at comments there. It's the one place I look at them. So all of you douche holes, if you want to try to piss me off, that's the place to go. But that's the better place. You should definitely get in there. But they were talking about how the Marines could come in, but they did talk about how Trump has to, in fact, declare a martial law. Or, declare Insurrection Act. If he declares the Insurrection Act, well, then the National Guard can come in. The Supreme Court even agreed with that. There was no Insurrection Act declared, so utilizing the National Guard without that declaration was not necessary or legal in their minds. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody ran. I got another story where everybody spins it in a funny way, and it's just like, that's not what's happening. And this is the same situation. It just means if he declares Insurrection Act, he can bring National Guard, maybe the Marines, maybe. I mean, it sounds like what the dude was saying. Definitely sounds like they can. I still don't think we necessarily need to. I mean, if the National Guard can't hold the line, that's when the Marines come in my opinion. Right, wrong, and different. And a lot of people, I think, want to see it happen because that means we're there. And I get that, but this needs to play out, and we really do want as few people to get hurt as possible in this process. There's a lot of stupid people. Stupid people do stupid things. Tim Walz, Exhibit A. So, Deputy HHS Secretary Dr. Oz and Dr. Jim or whoever Jimmy is. What's up, Jimmy? Slim. But they're saying they were literally in St. Paul on a fact-finding mission. They got chased out of a business by the crazy people living out there. Not safe. These guys can't even walk around, so dangerous. Donald Trump says a highly respected judge declined to block ICE operations in the very politically corrupt state of Minnesota. ICE will therefore be allowed to continue its highly successful operation of removing some of the most violent and vicious criminals anywhere in the world, many of them murderers, from the state. The great patriots of law enforcement will continue to make our country safe. Record low crime numbers. Rock and roll. So they're doing it. Yeah, Tim Walz. Yeah, they were saying his speech was marred with audio issues, but it wasn't. So maybe it was where they were watching it. It's kind of funny because I just played it. I mean, so I don't know if his primetime address live actually got jacked up, but maybe the speech they uploaded later was what we just watched. But it's all crazy. We don't need to watch it again. But it had tracks totally overlaid on top of each other. He was saying one thing visually, and you could hear it, and then there was something else playing underneath him. That was some other point of the video. Craziness. Bucks County, PA Sheriff Danny Seisler. He's announced he's terminated the country's 287G partnership with ICE that allows local law enforcement to work with the feds and detain and deport criminal illegal aliens. What he probably failed to realize is because of that 287G partnership, they received federal funds. Those don't go there anymore. And frankly, Pennsylvania is probably at risk of losing all of that anyways in the big picture. They've got sanctuary stuff going on as well. So we're seeing the insurrection happen. There's just not nearly as many of them as they needed at all. Nick Shirley exposing fraud in Somali-run taxpayer-funded taxi companies now. Nick's apparently done with all the daycares and bullshit like that. Now he's into taxis. And he's finding fraud there too. Oh, I bet we're going to find it anywhere they're involved. Oddly, anywhere where federal funds go, guarantee you there's fraud. Federal judge just blocked Trump administration from withholding SNAP benefits from Minnesota. You must continue to give SNAP benefits. This has got to get immediately kicked out. We'll see how the appeal goes, but you can't give it. It's being used in fraud. It's like guaranteed. I don't see any evidence of it. Well, you haven't even had the trial. Who the fuck are you, judging 10? Here's Scott Bessent talking about they're going where the money's at when it comes to the crazy stuff that's happening with these protests, with the cartels, with everything.
Civil enforcement is auditing financial institutions that facilitated the laundering of Minnesota funds, in addition to helping support criminal and civil enforcement efforts. The IRS will also soon announce the formation of a task force to civil enforcement.
Yeah, so it's so tough when they repeat that quickly. They're going after these people in RICO. Now, here's the thing. When they tell us they're doing it, they already started. And in most cases, a lot of this is just a data pull. It's a number of queries. It's not like they need a lot of time to pull the data and find records to dig into. It's like we've already found what we want to look at, and the initial glance is bad. So he's now coming public because when you do that, it causes a lot of people to panic. And panicky people do funny things. So Scott's pushing them out into the open. As my camera's off. Again, crazy. Trump freezes the visa of 75 countries. It's funny, the story's like, including Russia and Iran and Somalia. Duh. But yeah, totally. And 72 other countries. But yeah, a lot of countries. Nothing really, there's a bunch of them. Was there 200-ish countries in the world? 100 and some odd? Whatever. it feels like a worthless statistic because it changes every second, it seems. But yeah, they got a problem. They're shutting down the visa program, which they should, right? We're getting criminals. They're going into our schools and stealing stuff. Problems they're causing. U.S. designates chapters of Muslim Brotherhood as foreign terrorists. They've got a few of these going on. The Egyptian, the Jordanian, Lebanese. Oh my God, really? The gay ones, huh? They got rid of them. No offense to the Lebanese out there, all right? But yeah. We got they're calling it out, man. I mean, we're getting down and dirty. We're getting to the place where these people are showing themselves. It's happening. They're being cleaned out. Like I don't know. The Iran thing's tripping me out right now. The Ayatollah's in trouble. North Korea, I don't know what's going on, but China's fudged, and they're the ones feeding that little proxy BS. I think the United States is like, let them shoot bottle rockets. I don't care. Trump's going to meet with the Venezuelan opposite leader, Machado. Now, this is one of the stories that cracks me up. This has been misrepresented intentionally, heavily. They pulled a quote. Trump says she's a very nice woman. All right, the implication. But it's the term down here. He said that this was his first discussion about her when they first pulled Maduro out. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have respect. Everybody ran with that like Trump was besmirching her. He wasn't. Trump was demonstrating the problem in that country. It's run by drug lords and drug families. This Machado chick, although she won the election, does not have support from the upper echelons of that government. So you let the existing government kind of function for a little while and start working her into the ranks, or you have another election and see if she wins again, whatever. So again, the way it's spun, this is just a funny one. Trump tries to, this chick's been groped. She's a hottie, man. I would have groped her too if she'd let me. It's illegal. They have to let you. It's fun as hell when you get to. God bless. Touching boobies? Oh, fun times. Donald Trump trooped this out this morning. I had a very good call with the interim president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez. We are making tremendous progress as we help Venezuela stabilize and recover. Many topics were discussed, including oil, minerals, trade, and, of course, national security. This partnership between the United States of America and Venezuela will be spectacular, one for all. Venezuela will soon be great and prosperous again, perhaps more so than ever before. He's making everywhere greater again. Trump seizes another Venezuela-linked container, and my lovely, lovely friend, Alice Tang, she's going to tell you all about it. Adorable.
U.S. forces seized another Venezuelan-linked oil tanker today, marking the sixth vessel targeted in recent weeks. U.S. Southern Command said Marines and sailors boarded the motor tanker Veronica without incident. The vessels intercepted so far have been either under U.S. sanctions or part of a shadow fleet of ships that attempt to evade sanctions. Last week, U.S. forces seized a Russian flag tanker that was being shadowed by a Russian submarine.
I wonder if she talks like that just all the time. Hi, I was down at the Starbucks, and I found that I enjoyed my latte very much. I don't know. She looks hot whenever she does anything. Anyways, that's not appropriate. Some would say inappropriate. I don't know what they're talking about. Iran closes its airspace to commercial aircraft. It's almost like they thought something was coming. I believe this was a leak. This was a fix-a-flat. You guys know what fix-a-flat was, right? That's that thing where if you get a little leak in your tire, that you put the little seal. It's a horrible thing to do, by the way. You should never do it. But you spray in this goop, and that goop just goes around the inside of the tire. It's disgusting, and people that clean your tire, you should tell them that you've done this because they'll be surprised when they find out the hard way. It's disgusting. But it will sometimes get you, another few hundred miles. This is a leak. They wanted to see what happens. They've got very certain people that they're probably questioning. And they feed information often to see what happens. And they look to see the path that it happens, the way that it happens. And this is another example. Now, maybe they overheard a conversation. Entirely possible, but unlikely. But there was a shutting down of the airspace over Iran, like something was going to happen. And it was probably when there was going to be an execution. Not anymore, right? So, again, crazy stuff going on. Scott, Beth sent is slapping some more sanctions on some of these biatches. And again, I just like Scott, sorry.
My message today is to the Iranian leadership on behalf of the people of Iran who cannot speak for themselves. Last March, we predicted that President Trump's maximum pressure campaign against the Iranian regime would accelerate an economic collapse. Since then, our sanctions efforts have been effective in slashing oil exports and cutting revenue. The currency and living conditions are in freefall. The early warning signs are already flashing in the Iranian economy. The regime continues to egregiously mismanage its economic resources with additional subsidies and price controls. The central bank is broke and printing money. Hyperinflation is next. Rather than building a prosperous Iran, the regime has chosen to squander what remains of the nation's oil revenues on nuclear weapons development, missiles, and terrorist proxies around the world. Civilians are rightly protesting mismanagement and economic collapse. President Trump stands with the people of Iran and has ordered Treasury to sanction members of the regime. Iran's leaders have brutally responded to peaceful demonstrations with violence, from mass shootings in the street to attacks on wounded victims in hospitals. Today's sanctions target 18 individuals and entities that the regime uses to evade sanctions on Iranian oil and divert proceeds from its energy sales away from the rightful owners, the Iranian people. Tehran's natural resources belong to its people and not its brutal dictators. Treasury will continue to target Iranian networks and corrupt elites that enrich themselves at the expense of average Iranians. This includes the regime's attempts to exploit digital assets to evade sanctions and finance cybercriminal operations. Additionally, President Trump has announced a 25% tariff on countries that continue to do business with Iran. Our message to the Iranian people is clear. Your demands are legitimate. You are protesting for a noble cause, and the United States supports you and your efforts to peacefully oppose the regime's mismanagement and brutality. Our message to the Iranian leaders is also clear. U.S. Treasury knows that like rats on a sinking ship, you are frantically wiring funds stolen from Iranian families to banks and financial institutions around the world. Rest assured, we will track them and you, but there's still time if you choose to join us. As President Trump has said, stop the violence and stand with the people of Iran.
Dude, when have we ever had a Treasury Secretary that literally got on national TV and called out the deep state or anybody for like, we see what you're doing right now. Stop it. Like, I'm telling the world that you're doing this. That is levels of crazy that I love. Again, Scott Bessent got a weird little, I don't know. Reporter, oh, this is funny, says, talking about Greenland again by force. Donald Trump.
Right now, it sounds like you are saying that you would potentially acquire Greenland by force. That would be a NATO country.
Well, you're saying that.
Are you saying that? Would you do that?
No, you're saying that.
Would you
I didn't say it. No, you're telling me that that's what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm going to do.
So what are the options?
Your network doesn't know either.
The Danish foreign minister said that there's still fundamental differences after the meeting with Rubio and with the vice president. Are you willing to leave the NATO alliance in order to get what you want with Greenland? What are the options right now?
Well, I wouldn't be telling you what I'm willing to do, certainly. I'm not going to give up options, but it's very important. Greenland's very important for the national security, including of Denmark. And the problem is, there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it if Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland. But there's everything we can do. You found that out last week with Venezuela. There's everything we can do about things such as that. Not going to happen. We're not, I can't rely on Denmark being able to fend themselves off. They were talking about they put an extra dog, and they were serious about this. They put an extra dog sled there last month they added a second dog sled. That's not going to do the trick.
Denmark fought alongside the United States in both Afghanistan
Thank you for
and
telling me
Iraq.
that. I appreciate it.
But
I have a very good relationship
they're
with Denmark,
an
and we'll see how it all works out. I think something will work out.
Supposedly England sent one person to go to Greenland. But again, yes, he's right. Here's how it's going to play out, guys. Denmark owns it, doesn't own it, whatever, the crown, blah, blah, blah. We defended it during World War II. We have record of doing that because of it. And while Denmark was being overtaken by the Nazis, we protected Greenland. From that standpoint, I think from a world legal court standpoint, we have some discussion about how it's used. It's strategic to us. It always has been. It always will be. And from the Iron Dome standpoint, there's probably a lot of technology that needs to be placed on top of there, or we need to get access to, which I think is actually closer to the truth. There's some crazy shit that we got there already. So Greenland's probably, who knows, maybe it's Antarctica. You know, that's funny. I didn't even think about that before. Like I always assumed that it was, I'm sorry, not Antarctica, but Atlantis. I always assumed that was Antarctica. Maybe it is still, but I don't know. I wonder about Greenland. Greenland's a trip. I think there's some shocking stuff that we'll find there as well. So Trump is, it's not like we're going to take it over. Everyone's playing it like that, but that's not what's going to happen. It's kind of funny because it's even people, content creators on our side of the fence are talking about it like that. Yeah, we need it for national security. He continued in the same thing. It was good.
Made very clear in the meeting that happened here in the White House what are their limits. She also said that it was a very respectful meeting. Are those limits going to be respected?
Well, we're going to see what happens with Greenland. We need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens. They're going to brief me on the meeting right after this conference. In fact, the sooner I get you out, the faster I'm going to know exactly what happened. But we have a very good relationship with Denmark, as you know. We'll see. But, we're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything about it.
There's no more than what they can do there?
Well, we're going to see. I mean, look, we're going to see what happens, but we need it. You know, I'm not the first one. This was talked about by President Truman, and 40 years before President Truman, they were talking about it. They've been talking about this for 100 years. This is not anything so new. A lot of people don't realize that, but this was a hot subject, probably not as hot as it is now, but it was a hot subject for a long time. We need it for national security, and that includes for Europe. And I spoke with, as you know, Mark, the head of NATO, and he really wants to see something happen. It's very
They're going to get a butt ton of money. They're going to get, and it's going to, so this is going to happen. That's why everyone's saying nothing can stop what's coming kind of bullshit. It's going to happen. Period. End of story. House Republicans, they have enough votes to hold Clintons in contempt. I think both of them didn't show up at this point. I feel like the second one was supposed to be like a day later or something like that. So I feel like both of them are no show, which is great. And again, this is the show, my dear friends. The Clintons are not showing up. Cool. Let the games begin. It's going to move at government speed. Comer's on it. Probably one of the few people we actually give a shit about inside the House. Comer and Jordan's been busy lately. Apparently, he has been popping up in my radar. I wonder what he's up to. This is McConnell here on the screen, which is kind of funny. That dude, his turkey. Anyway, that's just me. Appeals court rules judge had no power to free Mahmoud Khalil. The appeals court 2-1 decision, by the way. Said, you had no power to release Mahmoud. That's ridiculous. I don't think it said ridiculous. I'm adding that. But 2-1 decision, too, by the way. So they had like a Jumanji on their circuit of court. Their U.S. Court of Appeals, Third Circuit, for you guys that somehow matters. Where are they at? I don't see any place that's making it easy to find that. But the door, they say, may have been open for potential re-detainment down the line, but not closed to commitment to Palestinian justice, blah, 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 whatever the hell. So they're still, we're going to fight. And they're like, yeah, we're totally going to put this motherfucker in jail. Again. Dun, dun, dun. Fuck these people, man. And again, I don't wish harm on anybody, but if you're a criminal bastard or a bastard criminal, definitely going to jail, getting the fuck out. See ya. Donald Trump says, effective February 1st. This is all caps, too, by the way. This entire thing is like caps locked except one sentence. Effective February 1st. I'm yelling. No more payments will be made by the federal government to states for their corrupt criminal protection centers known as sanctuary cities. All they do is breed crime and violence. Oh, now he's gotten normal with his caps. Camel case. If states want them, they will have to pay for them. Caps again. Make America great again. So, woo. My neighbors have to hate. Well, one of them, I wonder. She might hate me. We talked once and it didn't go well. I rang the doorbell right after I looked down the sign that said, please be quiet and don't ring the doorbell. And I was like, shit, this is not going to go well for a first greeting. Oh, well, shit happens. Donald Trump said, this is very unfair for our tech companies in the United States of America. EU makes more from fines on U.S. tech than taxes from all of the public European tech. Meaning they fine us more money than they bring in taxes for their tech companies. They're stealing from us. And this has been happening forever. And they're getting greedier and greedier. Budgets always grow. They have to. If you anybody that's ever worked in any sort of place where you get a budget, like if you don't spend the entire budget, they take it away from you, which is sad, right? Like, fuck being efficient. They want to figure out how to spend more money. They don't. Our whole system's just. This dude uses some freaking foul language, people, and I hope you can accept it because what he says is super important, but his language is unbearable. It's worse than what I say.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett leaving the House floor in total disgust. Chip Roy's amendment to reduce the District of Columbia Appeals Court funding by 20% and strike the salary and expenses funding of Judge Boasberg and Boardman's staff. And that bunch, what they've been pulling is ridiculous. In my opinion, they've completely got out of whack with what's going on. The next one was my buddy Eli Crane, Navy SEAL, unbelievable guy, one of my favorites up here. He prohibits funding for the National Endowment for Democracy. And that was, I forget how many millions of dollars, and that didn't pass. I'm so frustrated with this bunch up here. And then, of course, the big bill, it cost $90.1 billion. And guess what? It passed because it had all that garbage in there. It sends $1.425 billion to Egypt, and then we're going to give Jordan build them a wall, and they're firing missiles at other people. What the hell, folks? Excuse my language, $6.15 billion for foreign military financing program. And yeah, they're going to come back and say, oh, they're going to buy a bunch of arms from us. Well, my mama used to say, I don't like making my living off the suffering of others, and that's just pathetic. I don't know. I'm just disgusted with it. We came up here to do something, and we're not doing it. And they're going to pat themselves on the back. It was less than the last one, but we're funding a bunch of garbage. And it's a lot of this stuff we're funding, actually, when you dig into it, is funding stuff that Trump did away with. So you got to ask yourself, where the heck does the dadgum money go? And nobody's asking those dadgum questions. It just, to me, it's pathetic, and it's disingenuous to the American public, and we need to start holding people accountable. So anyway, I'll keep voting my conscience, and we'll see what happens. Thank y'all for sending me here.
Sorry there towards the end it became a rap song. I'm sorry, guys. There's double dadgum there. And he said hell at one point. Thank God I can say him too, because he did. But he's right. The people in Congress suck. 90+%. Maybe, again, House, they got to go 2-year cycles, but you guys can help me there. Shit, there's too many of them. Senate, oh, dude. I'll go super conservative and say 10%, 10 of them are okay. 90, definitely not. Definitely 90. I'll start fucking picking them right now if you want. Walk them off to the whatever they get walked off to. I assume it's pastures of grandeur and happiness. Donald Trump truth this, and this is going on. The trade deficit's lowest ever right now. Our numbers are incredible. Gross domestic product is up higher than it was ever supposed to be, even with the government shutdowns. They figured that actually cost us 1.5%. The numbers are all going to show, they're going to show prior to the election. Congress is going to demonstrate themselves to be ineffective. We will win that narrative. All the people worried about what the deep state narrative, the media. Well, CNN said this crazy thing. MSNBC said this. So? Nobody, the people watching them, their numbers are dwindling daily, by the way. Daily. Their numbers suck. They're getting down close to my level. Dude, Nino posts bigger numbers than most of those people. And then you get into maybe X22. He might be up there around there. Certainly Rogan and Carlson and all those guys are like Fox News levels. So the numbers they're moving in the right direction. The currency's got to die. That's something's going to happen. Obamacare enrollment trails 2025 by less than expected. It's funny as they were expecting this huge drop in the number of people. Millions aren't going to be able to get affordable health care. Well, no, it's actually been a lot smaller. 3.5%. Those are probably dead people, by the way. Seriously, if you think about it, how many of those people are probably dead people that no longer get any Obamacare? We just haven't really been able to get them all out of there. So again, the numbers are not huge, but they certainly didn't go up, and people didn't freak out, and blah, 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 blah. Everything's on the table. This is what we're saying. JPM, the CFO for, JP Morgan, signals possible fight with Trump over this credit card rate cap. I'm very curious about this. There needs to be some sort of thing with the debt. Trump will probably work something out, but the banking system, central banking system, and a lot of the stuff that's happened with the banks, the big banks especially, the bastard banks, are this too big to fail. This will be one of the things that will prove to me for sure that Trump's, and I'm sure Trump's going to do this the way he should, but the too big to fail concept's not going to happen. You failed. You're failing. You're done. You're not getting anything from anybody. There'll be some guarantees, but this is going to be when we drop the Fed, and I think there's going to be a little bit of people are working at it every day trying to massage that. Hopefully it goes really well. But yeah, we got this credit card thing will be interesting. Again, how they fight it, how they don't, we're just, again, enjoy it day by day, especially you guys that have planned ahead. I'm curious what the silver prices are right now. They were up 93 something yesterday. Okay, so 92.26 right now. Yeah, gained back some of that. It's funny, they've been trying to hurt it, but silver's like holding on like a champion right now. I don't think these shortages are happening yet, thank God. Yeah. If you're in a 401k or an IRA, you're losing buying power every day. It was tripping me out. It still trips me out, actually. So this would be a $5 coin, 1 ounce silver coin, basically. I mean, a coin, a legitimate one. And then this is a $100 coin. So there's already a 20-to-1 variable on this. But if you think about what's the variable going to be, and it's probably going to go higher than that because of manufacturing, but let's just keep it simple. It's not even close to 20-to-1, by the way, but right now, it's getting there. Well, actually, yeah, I think it is close to that, in fact. But nonetheless, still, this is what they're going for. But silver's worth way more than that, by the way. Way more than this $5 concept, even based off the $100 silver or gold. Again, not trying to get lost in the weeds, which I was going to do, and I'm glad I didn't. But gold's down a little. It's inflation. It's buying power. It's the fact that your house went up in price. Your house is the same house it's always been. It's not worth more. It's not. In fact, it needs maintenance and shit. It's worth less. It's like a car that gets older. It depreciates. Houses don't get better. They get worse. Now, you can be in cool places that are valuable. Don't get me wrong. But that upward movement is inflation. It's not good. It's one of the places it happens. You get a bunch of millions here, and then all of a sudden, now you got many millions, and then it's gross. If you're in a 401k, an IRA, these are the only places this really helps. I love these guys. If you want to buy some gold and silver, you can hit them up. They'll hedge you up. They'll get you. There's a lot of places you can buy gold and silver. You can go straight to different sources, even some of the like Treasury and stuff like that. So I mean, whatever. You got a lot of options there. These guys are super duper experts. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, they can move as much as possible, tax-free, penalty-free, over, sideways. And it's into physical metals, literally physical metals. If they can't get you physical metals, I assume it doesn't happen. So physical metals. They put it in a trust, because if it goes straight to you in your hands, that's a payout. So for all you guys who are like, well, it's not mine. It's not paper. It's not a paper contract. It's actual physical metals. You have to pay rent space, essentially. It's physical metals. You can continue to donate to it. You can actually pull from it. That's considered a payout once everything gets said and done. That's what I think to a large extent. If you got a 401k or an IRA, it's tax-free money. That's why it's got to be done this way. You're going to get up to 10% free silver, which is incredible. And you're also going to get, if you can call in 20 minutes when you give the 4 data points, you're going to get a Ronald Reagan coin. You're going to want to go to drslikesgold.com. 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 Gold Coast the best. They're going to help you through it. They've got multiple suppliers. They've got a lot of free silver that they're giving to you guys, up to 10%. And the Ronald Reagan coins. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of their system. Their system's... Again, the stocks are, they're going up. Most they've ever been. They're not going up that much. They're not going up that fast. We're under 50. Right? Stocks are crap. Gold's the true test of the dollar, how strong the dollar is. When it goes down, that means the dollar got stronger. The Federal Reserve note, I should say. Silver's going through a reckoning right now. It's getting a lot closer to the parity of the dollar. We have a transition occurring. And again, it's being used in manufacturing. So if you own any, hang on to it. All these people sell it. No, that's stupid. Hang on to it. If for some reason down the road you're going to need some Federal Reserve notes, you'll be able to get a bunch of them with a silver coin. Hang on to your silver. Do not sell it. Hang on to it. It ain't going to crash anytime soon. It's going way higher. Until the Federal Reserve, until they're talking about blaming them for anything, that's when you might want to think about starting to like cash in. Okay? Right now, well, you guys, you don't want to get stuck with a bunch of Federal Reserve notes. That's for sure. Anyways, silver's at 92 right now. That's so incredible. It was at 93, I think, yesterday, but 92 and 9 cents. Neat numbers. So, yeah, we are, get out of the system. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of that crazy-ass system while you can. And I think everything should get better in the big picture. United States needs Greenland, yada, yada. I think we talked enough about that. I probably just lost that story. Zelensky declares permanent state of emergency for energy sector. Putin's screwing everything up. Now, the 15th, again, that Swerdlewski dude, or whatever his name was, it was supposed to be the 15th. I haven't seen anything yet that says the war has ended, so I'm glad he's wrong. I'm very interested to see how that all plays out. Again, nice guy. Love listening to him. I was like tripping. I'm like, should I stop listening to all this crap that I listen to? Because I listen to a bunch of crap. That's what I've started to realize. Again, love these guys, but it's like, I don't know. Most people you have on are not necessarily moving the ball forward. We got some weird-ass tech stories I want to share with you. The space shuttle crew, the ISS, the International Space Station, the crew touched down after this mystery medical evaluation issue. Something happened. Just one of these 4 people. They brought 4 people back. One of them could have been sick, and they didn't want to be like, oh, this one guy sucks. So they brought 4 people back. Be like, 3 of these things belong together. One of these things is not the same. Or however that song goes, but it feels like it's something like that. So one of these monkeys is freaking sick as a dog, and the other 3 monkeys are not. Or dogs. I think that's the other animal they've sent to space multiple times. Never like a polar bear or some shit, right? Because you open up the capsule, you're like, ah, is he good? He's like, oh, he's hungry, and he eats your ass. That's not going to help. Needless to say, it is weird. This guy came back. I wonder, okay, here's the thing. I just want to ask the question, all right? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just wonder, like, if there's a takeoff and you know for sure a person got into a thing and it went up, right? And like you're somebody even remotely friendly with that person, and then like that person comes up and goes up, and you don't see them for like until you see this kind of stuff happen, right? Right? And then they're like, oh, this thing is that re-entry vehicle. And you're like, nah, I don't believe that. And they're like, nah, seriously, watch. When this thing lands, which you'll keep following it, and if you get on the news, and they'll be like trailing where it's at, and you'll be like, no shit, that's right above my house. And yeah, they'll be like, uh-huh. This thing's actually coming down from somewhere. From outside the dome, I guess. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dick at all. I swear to God. A lot of people are like, I don't know what happens if you go up there. It's what... Because they're somehow floating around. What explains that? I mean, a round Earth theory explains it. It does. I'm not trying to be a dick. Needless to say, it came back. 167 days in space. They landed. Yada yada. Space station evacuation lights up California sky as astronomers or astronauts return to Earth with mystery illness. And again, I wonder, is something coming? Is this just a wicked illness? Did they get some sort of weird sickness? Did they get infected by something? But again, I was like, the first question I asked is, so do they, like, is there nobody in the space station? Turns out there is. There's still people in the space station. This doesn't actually show it. 4 people just bailed out. I had to actually do further research. Apparently, there are 6 human beings in space currently. Who's in space seems to be right on it. Their game's pretty good. There's some other places I checked, and they didn't recognize that 4 left. 6 people currently in space right now. There's these 3 knuckleheads. Knucklehead 1, American, Merkin. Knucklehead 2 and 3, Russian. Think about that for a second. We hate Russia with all of our hearts. We hate the Russia so much. Really? 2 Russians in space, 1 American. Why don't they just strangle that fucking American? Why? Because that's not how it works. We love each other. We all get stupid haircuts. That's for sure. This guy's really going for the bangs look, though, right? You gotta like that. Good job. Good job, Sergey. Oh, sorry. I don't know what the difference is between Sergey and Sergey. Which one's the more gay than the less gay? One of you's more gay, Sergey, and one of you's Sergey. I don't know I don't know which one's which. One of you guys needs to help me know. Which gay are you? And I don't know why I'm like Swedish or some shit now, but anyway, one of them's American. His name's easy. Christopher Williams. See how easy that was? Alice Tang. Baby. Anyway, hey, Zhang Lu, Wu Fei, Zhang, Hongzhang. People always say, it's so mean. You drop a utensil. What sound did it make? We will name Wang as our child. Zhang is number 2. I mean, sky's the limit if you're doing onomatopoeia, right? It's good stuff. Anyways, whatevers. I have issues, guys. I'm having fun. Nuclear reactors on the moon by 2030, they're telling us, by the way. I actually think this is what we're heading towards. I actually think these are legitimate numbers, by the way, and I think you guys should seriously keep that in the back of your minds. You're like, that's ridiculous. I don't think so. I think we're actually already there. I think it's part of the disclosure. And then we're going to launch some sort of weird Musk rocket that's going to land on the moon. And again, there'll be somebody out there with a Nikon fucking filming it, right? Like in fucking beach shorts, right? He'll be wearing like board shorts and like, it's like, dude, you're in the shot. Ah, shit. Warm day on the moon. Whatever. It's going to happen. It's happening, Captain. Also, Tesla is shifting full self-driving to subscription only. If you want to have the craziness, you got to pay for the craziness, I guess is what they're doing. I don't know. I'm glad I gave up on the idea of not having a Tesla or an electric car by any stretch. I have an electric bike, motorcycle. That's super fun. I love that thing. But, yeah, no. 20 people charged in connection with rigging college basketball games as part of the FBI investigation. Well, that's great. Now they're rigging it down on the college level, too. Anyone surprised? So funny. It's coming out, though. This actor, Timothy Busfield, he's even in more trouble now, it seems. Again, I don't remember him from the stupid shows. I never watched either of the stupid show, 30-something and whatever the other stupid show was he was in. And no offense to any of you guys that were like, dude, I love 30-something. It was a great show. I totally get you, man. That's awesome. I just never watched that stupid show. I love you guys. Actor Timothy Busfield, though, he dropped by his talent agency. They're like, too hot to touch. You're like a hot potato, my friend. And he's now facing new sexual abuse allegations from a 16-year-old, currently 16-year-old girl. So there's that. We'll see what happens. He'll get his day in court. All said, guys, I love you. I'm going to be doing the Law of One here in about like 14 seconds. It feels like, man, like 54 minutes. Hopefully I'll get this all uploaded beforehand, but I love you guys. We are moving through this change and the transition, and I'm going to do everything I can to sort of try to help that in the ways that I feel I'm able to. And I appreciate those of you that are hanging out. Music show this tomorrow, Friday. For those of you that like it, please join because it's a fun community that's hanging out live. It's 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when I start the show. About an hour of music. It's fun. Just really cool people. So the chat's really fun because you can't see the chat. The comments is not the same as the chat. The chat is very, very cool, and it's a lot of great people that are in there. We're doing like 80s alternative, if you called it that. And I got some really good music. I think you guys are going to have a good time. It's nostalgic. You'll remember certain times. You'll be back. I was like, oh, my God, I was in high school then, and stuff like that. You're going to love the show. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, Live One happens Thursday. Same exact times, go live. But it's kind of more of a spiritual thing. It's kind of more of a, dealing with the crazy that's going on in the world these days. And I don't know how else to sell it right now. It's kind of my more spiritual side, the manifesting crap, all that stuff kind of melded into if I can help you, I'm trying to help you. And maybe it works for some. All these things are happening. We're getting there, guys. I love you. We're going to keep going. We're doing this together. That's why I love the phrase, where we go one, we go all. Because we are doing this together. And it's, without you guys, it'd be pointless. And I'm basically a dude who's like, I think it's this way. And you guys just seem to keep coming. I don't know, because I sing songs and I do funny stuff every once in a while. You guys are like, I don't know, just he seems to be heading the right way. We'll get there. I promise you. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.